Hello, my name is Tiye Cort Odima, and I'm running for Foxborough's school committee. Curriculum is one of my favorite topics. For as long as I can remember, I saw curriculum in action before I was even aware of what it was. Curriculum starts at home. In my free time at home, my parents encouraged me to read. As a little kid, I remember spending Saturday mornings taking trips to the library with my mother and picking out my favorite Amelia Bedelia books. They were easy, funny, and that silly Amelia Bedelia was always messing things up. Before we checked out, my mother would always somehow sneak in a book or two that was more challenging for me to read. The words would be a little bit harder to pronounce. I might need some help figuring out what some words meant. But whether it was my mom or dad, one of my older sisters, or my grandmother, someone was always there to help me work through the challenge and help me improve. In school, we had a time called DEAR, DEAR, that's drop everything and read. I loved it. I would pull a book from a shelf in the classroom or continue one that I'd brought from home, and my imagination would allow those words to take me to places I'd never been before. I grew to appreciate the windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors, as Rudine Bishop describes them, that different stories revealed to me. My current love for literature and the joy that I experience when discussing books with my students today is deeply rooted in the ways that my parents and teachers made space for me to read whenever possible. Now, I could talk about English all day, but curriculum is about the steps included in every subject to help students reach different levels that let us know how much they know and how well they can apply their learning. Starting in middle school, I would come home from school, finish my homework, and hope to catch some of my favorite shows on TV. Inevitably, my parents would come home from work, see me in front of the TV, and ask, "Did you finish your homework?" I would excitedly say yes, and I always told the truth. The assigned reading, worksheets, and writing that I had to do for the night was complete. But my father is famous among me and my siblings for his next question. "But did you study?" And with that, I would sluggishly grab the remote control and turn off my favorite cartoons. Animaniacs would have to wait. You see, in our house, learning was about more than the hours spent in a school building and the practice work that was sent home. It was about being prepared for not only the next session of class, but also venturing into the material of future sessions. It meant reading a chapter or two ahead in my pre-calculus textbook because even though I didn't love math, it absolutely helped to show up to class prepared with questions so that my teacher could walk me through the process step by step. As a teacher, I've thought about curriculum quite a bit. How could I make the books we read, the concepts we discussed, and the ideas we shared in the classroom actually mean something to students in real-world contexts? How could I make sure that my lessons were engaging for every one of my students, so much so that they not only understood the material, but were also able to apply their learning on required tests and assessments? How could I use the opportunities within the curriculum to include things from my students' culture? Gen Z youth with way more access to information and social media than I ever had at their age. That's one reason why I'm running for school committee. Our school committee is responsible for enforcing education policy as it applies to curriculum, and I'm excited about the upcoming curriculum reviews. During the next 3 years, the committee will approve the K-12 math, history and social science, and world language curricula. It's an opportunity to encourage teachers to ask themselves some of the same questions that I asked in preparation for my own students. It's also an opportunity for the school committee to use their combined experience to evaluate and assess any changes that should be made with our 21st century diverse learners in mind. We care about our kids and their success. Our district has the finances and the resources to ensure that our curriculum is accessible and engaging for every single student in our classrooms. My goal is for our curriculum to include opportunities for every student to learn in the classroom and apply their learning in ways that expand beyond those four walls. And while it may not always be exciting to do the homework, I hope that the learning that takes place makes the studying worthwhile for our students. That is my plan for student success.